Hey everyone, welcome to 6 Minutes of Witchcraft with me, Laura Tempest Zakroff. And today we're answering a viewer question, which might be a question that a lot of you also have. And John asked, what do you do when you feel disconnected from witchcraft? This actually came up the other day in the Weave the Liminal online workshop as well. Like, how do you reinvigorate your practice? What if you feel like you're not doing enough? So first, I'm going to set my timer, 6 minutes. Boom. And first, I think that this is a fairly common question because it's very easy to get overwhelmed by all of the media. If you're seeing all these beautiful altars on Instagram and people waving incense and sage and lots of robes and witchy photos, right? You're like, oh, my witchcraft doesn't look like that. Most people's doesn't look like that. And I'm not dissing the stuff because the stuff is great, like books, like crystals, you like herbs, like shiny things, whatever it is, the stuff is part of human existence, but it's not a necessary thing. It's just another layer that makes it look like things are going on. But if you're not actually doing the practice, are you really doing witchcraft? And people go, well, that's the thing, right? Am I doing witchcraft? So witchcraft isn't found just in assortments of crystals or setting up an altar or dressing up in ritual robes, doing things at the full moon. It's an everyday part of your life, very mundane kind of thing, from how you brew your first cup of tea or coffee or whatever drink that you make in the morning, to how do you prepare your meals, to how do you interact with the world outside. These are all opportunities to take a magical focus on the world around you. So with that first beverage of the day, what's your intention? Are you, as you're putting it together, you can focus on what's going into the brew of coffee, right? As you pour it into the coffee maker or whatever device you use. What selection of tea might you make? If you're making a smoothie, what's going into that? How is that affecting you physically, but also metaphysically? So that as you drink it, as you continue to work with it for the rest of the day or for however long it lasts, it can be something that as you take it into your body, you're being conscious of that intention, that focus. And your body, first of all, is the most important tool. It is the most amount of stuff that you have that you can affect. So also how you dress. All right, so morning beverage, that's easy. How you dress during the day and put your layers on. What are you assigning to as you put on your underwear, as you put on your socks? If you have a meeting, are you dressing up in a certain way? Are there certain colors that make you feel powerful? Is it more of a relaxed day? As you're putting on jewelry, you can do that. Also, the application of an oil. I like to use a different little essential oil every day, actually more perfume than essential oil, and I have a variety of them, most from BPAL, Black Phoenix, Alchemy Labs. I really like that, but there's a whole bunch of different ones from many different creators that I like to use that influences my day. So what smell am I going to use? And when I pull this particular oil out and anoint my wrist with it or the rest of my body, what intention does that set? What is my focus for that? So it's not a lot. It's already something that you can bring into your every single day. Like you're already making a beverage. You're already hopefully getting dressed. And I know right now, especially if a lot of you are in quarantine and doing social distancing, you're like, what's the point? Keep showering, keep getting dressed, right? Keep doing normal things. It's really good for your psyche. It's important to keep moving along. And if you do any sort of meditation or warm-up exercise, right, you can also think about how are you bringing in the focus to your body, that you're waking things up, that you're aligning, as I put in the 3 cauldrons, like the 3 cauldrons through the body, that physically, emotionally, and mentally, I'm putting my body in order. And, as you eat things throughout the day, as you go out into nature and you take a walk, just walking around the block, 5-10 minutes gives you time to look at the world around you, to make note of what the trees are doing, what the plants are doing, what the animals are doing, what your neighbors are up to. All of these things, there's an opportunity to observe and to participate in the process. So you don't really need lots of stuff to do this. It's not something that you have to really go far to find. So I'd start with the little things. And those are the things that most people overlook and don't really think are important, but they all build up. They are so important. And from there, once you kind of evaluate what are like one or two things that you might think about doing on a daily basis, then you can build it up to maybe once a week that you're going to do a meditation, or you're going to sit down and read a witchy book and take some notes on it. You can choose whatever point of a lunar cycle that gets you excited, and maybe you do a ritual for that, whether it's connecting with an ancestor, with a deity, with a genus loci, like whatever it is that you're most curious about, make that part of your practice. And that will keep things going. For working with an altar, if you have an altar and you haven't visited it in a while, it's time to clean the altar. This is a great time to clean everything. But it's, think especially right now we have equinox energy, restructure the balance, set things up, take things off, make it really simple, and then consciously and carefully add things to it. And during that consideration, you are setting things up. There's that timer. So that gives you a bunch of different ideas to make those little connections. Those are the ones that are crucial, right? It really isn't the big fancy things that look great on Instagram that take a million beautiful photos, right? It's those little important things that you can do no matter what your ability is, where you're located, what the weather's like. You can always use your body first to connect. And then from there, those little tiny connections are what build up the bigger connection. And then you'll feel like, oh, my practice is an everyday thing that makes me feel empowered, enlightened, and ready to actually do things. You'll start to notice a lot more about the world too. So I hope that gets you inspired to do some little tiny things to make a big impact. So I hope you're all keeping healthy. Take care, and until next time. Bye.